Welcome, champions. My name is Margaret, and I am coming to you live from the safe, isolated confines of Codename Entertainment's streaming studio in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Before we begin, I'd also like to thank D&D for hosting us on the official D&D Twitch channel. It is and always will be an honor to be here. Shout out as well to Erica, helping to co-produce and moderate the stream with us. We have a very special guest today. I'd like you to give a nice warm welcome to Dr. Kelli Dunlap. Kelli is a clinician with the Take This organization, whose mission is to decrease the stigma and increase the support for mental health in the game enthusiast community and inside the game industry. So without further ado, welcome, Kelli. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure. So, wow, it's been a month.
Only a month. Yeah,
a month.
Just a month.
Wow. So thank you very much for joining us. And I'm hoping today we can talk a little bit about mental health in video games, and also just what we can do as a game community to find a way to relax or manage some perhaps previously lower anxiety that's a bit higher in these current times. So
yeah. Anxiety has definitely been at kind of an all-time peak. A lot of people are having a hard time regulating what's going on with themselves, supporting people they care about who are also having a difficult time. And those are individuals who don't typically deal with any kind of mental health issues. And so for the members of our community who are vulnerable because they have pre-existing, anxiety, depressive issues, it's even harder for them. So I'm happy that I can be here and hopefully answer some questions, share some resources, dispel some myths, all that fun stuff.
Thanks. One of our biggest community members, Mars, just wants to say it's a pleasure to have you, Dr. Dunlap. So
again, I'm so happy to be here.
What would you think that the biggest myth surrounding mental health in video games is?
That video games are inherently bad for it. I like to call it the unholy trifecta, or the unholy trinity of gambling, addiction, and violence. So violence is the oldest one associated with video games. The very first time the public and the media kind of freaked out about video games was in 1976, I believe. I think it's 76, when the game Death Race came out. And as you can imagine, a 1976 video game was a black screen with like little white pixels on it. But there was concern that it would encourage people to run down people on the street. And
wow. Okay.
Very concerning. The Automobile Association of America was not happy.
Wow. Okay.
And that myth around video games as being promoting violence has just continued since games began. It spiked again in the 80s when we were talking about mostly around D&D, actually, so tabletop games as being a method of satanic recruitment. And so it's the Satanic Panic. And in the 90s, we had Mortal Kombat, which spiked a lot of attention. It went to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Lieberman was there talking in Congress about video games and their violence, and that actually led to the creation of the ESRB. And then there was Columbine, and just like there's this history of just, every decade there's at least 3 or 4 times when people are like, video games are the bad thing. They are the bad thing. But research, since time began, actually has shown time and time again, it's not true. There's nothing connecting someone playing a violent video game to as like the reason someone goes out and does something terrible, or that it turns kids into violent monsters or anything like that. It's just patently untrue.
As a non-violent monster, I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, I would like to point out that I have played video games my whole life. There was at one point, I think I've logged 28 straight weeks of Halo 2. So if you took all my Halo 2 time together and squished it, it would be like 28 days of consecutive play, which is a lot of hours. And hi, my name's Dr. Kelli Dunlap. So, the kids are okay. So yeah, that's probably the biggest myth is violence. And then right behind that is the thing with addiction, that video games are addictive and as dangerous as heroin and stuff like that, which is also very untrue.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's some really differing opinions on video games depending on, it seems, whether or not you get them. But
yeah, there's even research that looks at why, who thinks video games are terrible for you and who doesn't. And it is very, very strongly correlated with age and experience.
Okay.
So the older you are and the less experience you have with video games, the more likely you are to think that video games are evil. So research for everyone.
That's exciting. Wow. I noticed that you had as part of your normal situation, you work as an adjunct professor, but now that's online given the current climate. And you had your lecture right now is on the motivation in video games, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. So, I'm an adjunct professor at American University, and I teach in the game lab. And right now, the class I'm teaching is the psychology of video games. And last night's class was on motivation as a principle for game designers and players. And so we talked a lot about, intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. How do you design for different types? How do you motivate different kinds of players? And mostly talked about two main motivational theories. One, which is personality. So who we are, characteristics, our traits guide our behavior and what we enjoy, which there seems to be some interesting research around that, especially if you're familiar with Nick Yee and Quantic Foundry. They've got a lot of really great research that maps the preferences of gamers and the types of games they like to play to the big five personality spectrum. Some really interesting work there. And then we also, you can't talk games and motivation without talking about self-determination theory. And so we talked a lot about SDT, the innate drives that we have as humans for competence, autonomy, and relatedness, and how games give us that need satisfaction, without really even trying to, which is one of the reasons that we're motivated to play games and why we enjoy playing them as much as we do.
That's fantastic. And we've got some questions from the community. Tenfist would like to know if there's a psychology of Dungeons and Dragons, because that seems like it should be a thing, or if you could comment on that.
So I don't know of a book specifically, but there are a lot of people who are using Dungeons and Dragons in psychology settings. So I have several colleagues who use D&D as part of their treatment. So Dr. Sarah Sawyer, who also works at Take This, she sees clients one-on-one and will use D&D as part of her therapy with them. Dr. Megan Cannell, who is not a member of Take This, but a very close colleague, she runs multiple D&D groups that are just focused on different aspects of mental health and well-being. So an all-girls, I think that the group is called Self-Rescuing Princess. And so it's a skills, self-esteem group. And there's other groups that are for social skills and some for, depression, grief, loss. So D&D is actually very popular in terms of providing therapeutic content to people in a way that they actually want to engage in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. So would the clinician be acting as the dungeon master then, or they're sort of setting up scenarios and...
Yeah, the best way that I've learned to roll it out is there's two gentlemen, they're both named Adam, and they run Game to Grow out of Seattle. And they have it set up where there's always two people. There's one person who's actually acting as the GM, and one person who's acting as the therapist, watching for those aha moments, tracking observations, behaviors, doing kind of the clinical portion, because it's a lot to DM and then try to remember to be a psychologist on top of that. That
seems really intense. So
yeah, not recommended, not impossible, but not for the faint of heart. And so those two in Game to Grow do really, really great work bringing D&D therapy to they have dozens of groups. It's really amazing what they do.
No, we love Game to Grow. We just did a charity initiative with them, with one of our familiars, which was a baby spurt. I'm not sure if you follow Critical Role, but it's a tiny little kobold, and it's very cute. And we were very happy to be able to work with them.
Yeah, they're great. The Adams are they're perfect.
Mars is asking, what are common elements of gaming that have been shown to be good for mental health? And there's a lot of myth about the negative aspects, but I'd love to hear about what are the positive aspects and what can we encourage.
So I'm very much in the camp of games are a tool. So there are people who will argue that games are inherently bad. There will people who will evangelize that games are a godsend. I am in the middle. I think of myself as a pragmatist or a realist, and that the same way that games can be used and have harmful effects, like if they're done to excess, there are also ways that we can use them that we find really reassuring and really supportive. So the best example right now is Animal Crossing. So many people are stuck at home, they're isolated, and the world is so scary and unsure, but you can sit down with your Switch and load up Animal Crossing and exist in a place that makes sense, that's calm, that you have a sense of control over, and that you can connect with people in a meaningful way. So people who are your friends and also the people within the community itself. Because that community really is all about like being supportive and helping one another, and even the NPCs are like kind and warm. And so that's one way that people are finding like connection and being able to not feel alone, not feel so scared, not feel like they really are isolated. Other things I've seen, me personally, I've been playing a ton of Sea of Thieves. I love that game so much. And my friends and I get on and we just, we'll sail and fight and pirate for like 5 hours. And it helps a lot with the social component, with the idea that maybe everything isn't horrible and, going to hell. Maybe there is still some things that I can control, and I can still have joy and happiness and a sense of community and connection. And those are always important things for our mental wellness, but especially now.
Yes, no, it's fantastic. Animal Crossing is a very cozy game. I know a lot of people in the office are playing it. But one thing that we've been working on is doing we've been releasing some of our characters as coloring sheets for like adult coloring. Do you do much coloring therapy or?
So I don't do much coloring. What was that?
No coloring therapy for you, or?
Not in my practice. So, I'm a licensed clinician. I see clients. Right now, everybody's online, so definitely a little bit harder to do. So not my thing in terms of training. I'm cognitive behavioral in my orientation, and so that's where my skill set is. That said, if someone says, "Hey, I really like to color," it becomes a part of our therapeutic process, because what's important to them becomes important to me. That said, I know with Take This, we always have coloring pages at our AFK rooms at events. The quiet spaces that we put aside for people when they, when there's the cons are just a little too much, you need a place to chill. And there are definitely therapeutic components to coloring. I think the first psychologist to really talk about that was Carl Jung, and he would talk about mandalas, and that's that kind of concentric shapes that, like coloring books are often really fractal, and that kind of comes from a Jungian psychotherapy perspective of it's something you can put your thought into. It's artistic, it's creative, it takes concentration, and it can be very relaxing, especially for people who are inclined toward artistic pursuits, or just need to kind of take their mind off of the state of the world for a while.
No, I think you actually Take This in the AFK rooms, get a lot of your coloring sheets from us, so I'm happy that you mentioned
I think so.
And we often have a station set up at our booth, and personally it was something that I was never really into, but after being in the environment of PAX, and you just get to a point where like, yes, I would like to sit down and I would like to color, and I would like to have my focus on getting the color into these lines and not on the rest of the world right now. So
absolutely. They're super helpful. And there's also something just really delightful. Most of us as adults don't color. And so when we see the opportunity to, we're like, ooh, childhood wonder and excitement can bubble up, which can also be like a really nice counter to the stress and hecticness of adulting and con life.
It's a really strange time. Do you have any sort of tips for people facing anxiety, for either at a heightened level or for some of the first times in their lives, of what they can do at the moment? Or
so my default answer is, if you are asking the question of whether or not you need mental health support, you should seek it out. If that question is there, then you should look into it. There's lots of options out there on how to find mental health treatment providers. Again, every therapist I know right now is 100% doing teletherapy. So you don't even have to leave your home. It's covered by most insurance. So that would be my first go-to is, as the clinician, like, you need help, get help.
Need help, get help.
But for a lot of people, for many reasons, it could be financial, it could be that they just don't think that they're at a point where they need to see a therapist, and that's okay too. There's still tons of things that you can do to manage anxiety in the moment. One of the first and most important for the population that at least I work with is take your meds. Okay. You know, if you have medication, you should take it. Whatever condition it's for, please, if nothing else, take your meds. Very important. I also am a proponent of stopping the endless scroll that happens. I love my phone. It goes everywhere with me. Seriously, it's purple. It's my favorite color. I love my phone. I have had to put limits on myself in terms of like how much news I'm allowing myself to look at. And I literally have a Twitter list thread that is just like puppies and kittens because so that way I can go on Twitter and still get my fix, so to speak, of like scrolling through social media, but it's only good, happy things.
I'm following you now because I need that.
And so it's really, really helpful. I do the same thing on Reddit. You know, sometimes I get the itch to go to Reddit and I just go to the awe subreddit and go and look through all the cute pictures. And so it's, I've heard a lot of people recommend, well, cut out screen time. You're stuck at home. Like you're going to be looking at a screen. If you're looking at a screen, let's make it as pleasant as possible. Other things, like just even eating healthy-ish, getting exercise-ish. These are things that are always good for your mental health, regardless of pandemic or not. But they're a little bit more challenging and they can have a stronger impact now. So even if you're able to, like just taking a walk around the block, or if you have a faraway mailbox to your mailbox and back, can be really helpful just to get outside and realize that the world is still there, get some fresh air. A little bit of exercise can go a long way. And if possible, eat well. I do not follow this advice. I literally had chicken nuggets and mac and cheese was my meals for yesterday. So
sometimes comfort foods needed.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with comfort foods. But that means that hopefully today I'll stick to like fruits and veggies, and probably not because I know me. But one of the ways that you can help manage anxiety is by actually eating healthy. Because if you're eating a lot of salt and a lot of sugar, that can play with the neurochemistry of your body and can actually make you feel more depressed or more anxious. So for example, I've got this lovely V8 energy drink here and all that lovely caffeine. Should I be in an anxious place would elevate my anxiety. So if you're anxious, don't drink caffeine. It's another pro tip.
Awesome. Lauren from D&D Beyond is just saying, it's great to see you, Dr. Dunlap. And our Green Paradox is asking if you have any suggestions for helping people deal with the social distancing and isolation, especially for people that are more outgoing and social. So the extroverts among us that don't go to the AFK room and are really missing interaction.
So I really hate the term social distancing. I think we need to be practicing social connection and physical distancing.
That's a great way to do that.
One piece of advice is you're going to have to work harder. If you're an extrovert, you're going to have to work harder, and that's just the way it is. You're going to have to schedule time to be fun. You're going to have to schedule time to be spontaneous. You're going to have to like get people on the calendar and recruit people and be active in that, because it's not just going to come to you naturally anymore. It can't. So, make sure that, I know for me, every second Sunday is a D&D day for me. And it just happened to exist before COVID, and we're carrying that through. Nice. Every Thursday is, I'm starting a Dungeons and Doggos quest with some friends for every Thursday night. And every Wednesday I teach, and every Saturday and Sunday I play Sea of Thieves. And so like it feels weird and it feels kind of fake or to like plan out your fun time. But at this point, that's really the only way that it's going to happen. So either you schedule with people who aren't in your house, or you find fun things to do with the people in your house. For example, I have a 3-year-old. Your pity is most welcome. We set up an obstacle course for him.
Oh, great. That sounds like a great way to tire him. Oh.
Yep. So like couch cushions to slides to throwing balls into a box and then running around, and like We played outside in the yard. We played Keep Away, where he was the monkey in the middle. Like anything to like get him to expel energy. And I feel like that's what we need to do for our extrovert friends, is we need to help them expel energy by letting them bounce back and forth between us introverts.
One of our community members, Prater Benkus, is asking, "Hi, I use caffeine as a creative crutch. What do you suggest for an alternative?"
Use caffeine as a creative crutch. Interesting. So I guess it depends. Like, if it works for you and you aren't sad about it, then don't change it.
Okay.
Like, I mean, this is my get work done crutch, and I'm at peace with that. However, if you would like to change that behavior, or if you start to get the shakes because you don't have your caffeine, or you feel like your body starts to shut down, if you want to change the behavior, start to kind of like ease off of it. So if you normally have 3 cups of coffee, try having only 2. And if you have, one of these a day, which I do and I enjoy, cut it in half. Like that can do a lot to just kind of like slowly back yourself off of the thing. Quitting cold turkey, especially for something as rewarding in our brains as caffeine, is really, really hard. And it can have side effects. Like caffeine withdrawal is a real thing, and it'll make you grumpy, and it'll make your head hurt, and you'll feel miserable for a few days. But if you can back off of it slowly, it makes the transition much, much easier.
Great. That's some great advice. We have another question. Are there any elements of gaming that you would like to see more of in regard to promoting mental health?
Ooh. Gosh, that's like all my hopes and dreams in one question.
Tell us your hopes and dreams. Tell us your hopes and dreams.
So, I do a lot of research. I love working with mental health. I love working in games. I love designing games around mental health. But if I could only do one thing for the rest of my life, it would be focusing on my research around the way that we represent mental health in games. So like mental health representation in gaming is like my passion. And I love games that treat mental health with the dignity and respect that it deserves. So games like Hellblade are just amazing. Night in the Woods, fantastic. Sea of Solitude, can't finish it because it makes me cry too much. These are games that they give so much validation and so much voice to people who are often invalidated and sidelined. And the way that people respond, I'm going to get teary-eyed. I'm got goosebumps too.
This is wonderful.
The response, there's a video that Ninja Theory put out of people who responded to how they watched Hellblade and what it meant for them. And from like reconnecting people with their parents, like they know what it's like now, or they can see what it's like to peek into my world, or, it's incredibly powerful. Art in general, but video games as an art form to give voice and visibility to people who typically aren't. And so if I could see more, I would want to see more games that are either raising awareness around mental health issues. There's a lot of games that do that, games like Actual Sunlight, as well as games that take a character and really see the world through their eyes and who happen to have a mental illness. So something like a Hellblade, something like a Night in the Woods. So it's not necessarily a PSA about mental health, but more like this is the experience, this is the day-to-day, and it's just as valid as your Nathan Drake. It's just as valid as your, Lara Croft. That these are stories that deserve to be told, and they can also be heroes, even if you have anxiety or even if you have depression. Now I'm all like weepy, so yes, that's what I'd love to see more of.
That's an amazing answer, and thank you so much for sharing that with us.
It was a wonderful question.
And we have a comment from Billy Ag 2000. I've spent 10 years working with a dual diagnosis as a nurse. Any games come to mind would be good for TD.
I'm sorry, I missed that. He worked for 10 years as a...
with a dual diagnosis.
Oh, okay. So he himself, or I'm assuming they themselves have a dual diagnosis, or they've worked with individuals who had a dual diagnosis?
I think they work with individuals who have dual diagnosis.
Okay. And then recommendations for people who have TD, as in like tardive dyskinesia?
No, with dual diagnosis, or maybe I'm not sure. I'm not fully understanding the question.
That's okay. Okay. So just broadly speaking, in terms of like recommending games, it is like down to the individual. The same way that, you know, one medication isn't going to work for everybody in terms of mental health. It's the same thing when you're talking about like prescribing games or recommending games. There's some people, you know, there's like we talked a little bit about before about motivation, and some people are drawn to specific types of games, and they're going to enjoy those experiences and more likely to have a therapeutic impact than if they're forced to play something that maybe isn't their jam or they're not interested in. So for me, What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the best games out there. Insert every content warning you can probably imagine, or just about, when you play that game, but done in a very beautiful way, done in a very respectful exploration of mental health, of grief and loss, of family, of, you know, relationships, of like really difficult topics. And it's just this beautiful game that anyone can pick up and play. So just that's a fantastic one that I recommend widely. For people who are young millennials or are little Gen Z, I recommend Night in the Woods, because it's all about like what we leave behind when we go to college and we come back and everything is different. And it's this kind of low grade depression and anxiety that it's not in your face, but it really resonates. Like you feel the experience and you're like, yeah, I know what that's like. So that's another really good one. And then, yeah, it just depends on what the goal is as well. So like if you're trying to use it in a treatment modality to help somebody like relax, I would probably recommend something like Lily's Garden or Peggle or Bejeweled, something that is very demanding on the brain in terms of like visual spatial processing, planning, strategy, things like that, but relatively simple to pick up. And it gives you lots and lots and lots of reward, like shiny colors, and here's glitter, and here's a particle effect, and yay, you did the thing. Those are all things that are really good for when we're anxious and we need to take our mind off of something. Whereas if we want somebody to feel socially connected, Bejeweled probably isn't the right game. Maybe I want them to play Animal Crossing. Maybe I would recommend them to jump onto Full Metal Furies, which is a fantastic co-op game, by the way. If you have an Xbox, highly recommend it. Or Sea of Thieves. So it really, the game itself is just the vehicle. And it's really a matter of, you know, what's the destination? Where are you trying to get to? And who is it that you're trying to get there? I just hit my hand. I'm graceful.
As am I. I often fail my dexterity check. So.
All the time.
If you mentioned Bejeweled for a puzzle game, I'm going to have to plug Idle Champions if you haven't played it, because we're very much on the strategy management and the puzzle. So
yes. So whatever brings you joy, like go for it.
Go for it. If it sparks joy, go for it. Okay.
Yes.
Do you feel that there's an upward trend of positive representations of mental health as opposed to problematic representations in gaming, and why?
So I'm actually doing a research project on that right now. I've taken data that was collected from games that came out in like between 2011 and 2013 and comparing the representations that were in that paper to games that I'm analyzing from the last 3 years now. So like 2018, 2019, and 2020-ish. Because I'm trying to get like a 10-year perspective, but I'm fudging it a little bit because, you know, time. And so I honestly don't know. I have anecdotal evidence. I know what I've seen and what I've played. I would say yes, but as far as I know, nobody's actually measured it. Nobody's actually researched it, which is why I'm doing that. So I'll let you know. Come back and talk to me in a couple months and hope they'll have an answer for you. What I will say is that I definitely think there's more of it. I can't speak to the judgment of good or bad or accurate or inaccurate, but there's definitely more. You know, games like Night in the Woods and What Remains of Edith Finch are much more common and easier to get a hold of than they were 5 years ago, much less like 10 years ago.
Well, thanks so much for letting us know, and best of luck with that research.
Thank you.
You mentioned that every other Sunday is a D&D night for you. I have to ask, what are you playing? Is it homebrew? Is it?
It is. So I'm a D&D noob. I will totally own up to that. I am baby. So I might get it wrong, but it is D&D 5th edition Eberron.
Oh, Res Eberron. Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Yes.
I got it right. Yes, I am playing Calanthar, I think is the name of the character in Eberron, or the species. See, I'm still learning all the words and stuff. but yeah, it's a fun experience. I wanted to make a psychologist. Like I tried to design my character to be a psychologist, and then I realized that D&D is a very combat-heavy system, and so now I'm a murderous psychologist of the mind. So,
I mean, whatever works.
I the last game we played, we were locked up in a dungeon, and I talked to one of the guards. And I validated his feelings to the point where he actually let us out. So I'll take that as a win.
That is some great role playing.
It sounds really hard. You're really undervalued as a guard here. You're doing such a great job. You do not deserve that. Yeah, I know. It's tough. Yeah, tell me about it. No, I don't want anything. I'm just here. I'm just here to share, support. Like, I hear you. I see you.
We have some comments in chat that it sounds like you have a great DM. So
I do. He's wonderful.
That's fantastic. Our CEO Eric has this theory that when someone creates a character in D&D, they either create like an idealized version of themselves or the antithesis of themselves. So it's like everything that they aspired to be or everything that they never got to be. So. Yeah.
Interesting theory. Sounds like someone else could do a research paper.
Yeah, that's right. So, sorry, we just got some more.
No worries.
Yeah. Questions. Some people are asking about clues for our hidden codes, and I can say that they are related to green grass champions. So, that's for them.
So you heard it here first.
Heard it here first. So you have a 3-year-old. You are still teaching at the university. How are you finding isolation? You seem to have a very active digital social life now.
Yeah. So oddly enough, it really hasn't changed that much for me. So starting in 2017, I worked for a nonprofit, and it was work from home. And so I was doing that full time. And then I picked up working at AU, and that was in person. And so I would work for a week, and then there's one night a week I would actually go into DC and teach. And then unfortunately got laid off in November. Great timing. But it worked out for the best because I started actively seeing clients again, which I really, really missed. I had been missing that. And so it just kind of all worked out. So I was seeing clients in person, but it had been I'd been on board for maybe a month and a half, and then COVID happened and I went back to working from home. So it doesn't feel super different, at least for me, especially because Take This is remote. So all the work has always been remote, and teaching online is definitely a different experience. But because I'm streaming on Mixer, it's not too weird because that's where I stream my games and I teach while I play games. So I'll just teach my students and have slides at the same time instead of a game in the background.
Sounds very, very on brand for the gaming industry, but I'm certain maybe other faculties are struggling.
Yeah. I mean, especially with all the issues around Zoom and like the overload of different video conferencing servers, and we're in a game design program. I have what better to learn game design than on a gaming platform? It just makes sense.
Makes sense. We have another question from Mars. Are there certain games that you'd recommend that more age appropriate for mental health, or for children or teens or?
So working with kids is fun, largely because the natural language of children is play. And so if you sit a kid down to play a game, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot about how they see the world and what is important to them. There's a friend of mine who's been playing Animal Crossing, and her daughter's 5, and she kind of has to hold off her Animal Crossing time till the 5-year-old's in bed, because otherwise the 5-year-old comes on and just eats all the cherries. That's what the 5-year-old wants to do. She thought that was total fun, and her mom's like, oh my God, I needed those. I know I play games. My son's only 3.5, almost 4, but we play a lot of games together. Right now we have The Floor is Lava, which is a tactile physical game where you put stones on the floor and you spin a spinner and you have to jump to the different stones and do different things. And he loves that. He loves Sonic. So we sit down and we use on the Xbox, there's a feature called Copilot where you can have 2 controllers, but they act as one. So I can direct Mario, or I can direct Sonic, and he can hit the jump button, and we'll all play Mario Kart together, where he's holding one button, I'm holding the other. And so yeah, in terms of like littles, there's not a whole lot that's like specifically for them.
Right.
Although Disneyland Adventures is great. He loves that too. And it really is about like the time that you're spending with them. You know, is it something that they're doing on their own? If so, you know, look at Kerbal Space Program. You know, it's got that educational component to it. Slime Rancher is another one that's really good for like that 7 to 8 crowd. But if you have the time, and I know it's really, really hard, especially if you're working from home, but if you have the time to sit and play with them, there's pretty much no game that's off the table. Because if something comes up, you talk about it.
That's right.
My husband likes to tell the story that I think he was 8 years old when his dad played Doom, and he sat there and watched his dad play Doom as an 8-year-old. So not something I would recommend, you know, ESRB warnings and all, but like the fact that they did it together, it was a positive experience because they were together and it was like a bonding moment, and it wasn't as scary because dad was right there, which I think is not something I'm going to recommend, but it's a cute story. We'll say it that way.
That's fun. We have a question from the Gurker. Video games and insomnia are often a problem for me. Too much screen time. Do you have any suggestions for managing playtime?
So, suggestions for managing screen time or suggestions for helping with insomnia?
Both.
Probably the same. So one, just some basic like sleep hygiene stuff. One, your bed is used for 2 things. One of them is sleep. One of them is something else that happens in the bedroom. And that's it. So if you're playing your phone in bed, if you have your Switch in bed, stop it. Bed is only for sleep and sex. So that's rule number 1. And that way, much like Pavlov trained the dogs to salivate to a bell, you can get your brain to slowly over time realize that, oh, bed is for sleep. And it's that same kind of pairing that's going on, that same kind of conditioning that we can train ourselves with. Other things you can do is make sure that if you can, not look at your screen about an hour before bedtime. You know, that can also be a cue for your brain to kind of like simmer down and chill out. It also gives your brain a chance to like let go of all the information it's been taking in. And so you're not like worrying right before you go to sleep. I made the mistake one night of scrolling through my newsfeed before I tried to go to sleep. And then I just laid there with like my eyes open at the ceiling going, oh my God, we're all going to die. So I don't do that anymore. I think
a lot of people have made that exact mistake at some point in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. So learning experience, growth experience. And yeah, just kind of like setting the standards and understanding why you want to do what you want to do. So when we talked a little bit earlier about making changes, you know, they should be gradual. Going cold turkey is really hard. And they should have a really strong reason for why, because we only make changes if the cost of making the change outweighs the alternative. So it has to be worth our time to make a new neural pathway. It has to be worth our effort to change a habit in order for the habit to change. So insomnia is incredibly debilitating. Insomnia is really, really tough. So, you know, that's a really good reason to put the phone down and walk away if you can. Don't look at your phone while you're in bed. Try not to engage in anything that's too activating before you go to sleep. Have a set routine so that your brain knows, okay, this is our process for shutting down. There are also a couple apps that I enjoy when I can't sleep. I turn them on and they'll do like a guided meditation or guided imagery or something to like help you unpack the thoughts of the day and kind of put them away. There's also some interesting research around alpha waves. So apps that use alpha waves, in theory, the research is a little bit split, but the idea is that alpha waves are the ones that preclude sleep and they're very calm. And so that your brain, theoretically, again, I don't have the research to back it at this moment, but theoretically your brain waves will sync up with the waves that are coming out of the music and the rhythms of your phone, and that can actually help lull you to sleep. Or melatonin. Melatonin is something you can get over the counter. Ask a physician first before you start taking any medication. But yeah, melatonin is something that naturally occurs in our body, and it's what amps up when the sun goes down. That lets us know it's time to sleep and helps us fall asleep and stay asleep. So it could also be a physical imbalance too, in terms of your diet, your exercise, things like that. So the complicated answer, or the simple answer, is change all the things and see what happens.
Okay, but maybe change one thing at a time, or
That would be the
Yeah,
scientifically,
totally.
yes, to do
Okay.
it and see what happens. Yeah.
We have another question from the community from Ninjaner, I guess. I saw a documentary ages ago that showed experts using virtual reality to help patients with their arachnophobia. Are there any advances in VR that you are familiar with that have been able to help people overcome certain conditions in more recent years?
Yeah, so AR and VR have been doing some really exciting stuff in terms of mental health, specifically around exposure-related treatments. So in psychology, and if you go into a therapist and you either have a phobia or you possibly have PTSD, the underlying kind of pathology is that you avoid. Whatever the scary thing is, you avoid it. And so you never get a chance to not be afraid because you're always like, ugh, it's over there. And so when we are treating people with some kind of avoidance behavior, whether it's PTSD or a phobia, it could be public speaking, it could be a spider, the gold standard is to put them in that feared situation so that they can eventually see that, guess what, they're not going to die. It's not so scary. But the way to do that is kind of gradually. There's two camps. One is gradual over time, building up to it. So seeing the word spider and then seeing a picture of a spider and then going to the zoo and looking at a spider in a glass case and holding a spider. So that's gradual. For the proponents of flooding, that's you just get put in with the spider and you just got to deal with it. Not a lot of people sign up for flooding, oddly enough.
You don't say.
I know, it's shocking, right? But sometimes this kind of desensitization to the feared object is really difficult. For example, if you have a fear of flying, on airplanes, it's really expensive to buy an airplane ticket. And you can't just walk into an airport and look at the airplane and then walk away. That's not how our society is set up. Same thing with combat veterans, putting them back into the combat situation where they experienced their trauma. Not ethical, not safe, not recommended. And so with AR and VR, we can create these environments. And so if it's an everyday thing like spiders or heights or something, mixed reality can be really helpful for that because, a spider in my room could happen. It absolutely could happen and has happened. And that makes it much more real because it's in your own space. In VR, it's a little bit more demanding because you have to construct the world and then put the person in it. But it can be really helpful for people who have situationally related trauma, whether it's combat or assault or something like that, because then you can actually recreate the environment where the trauma happened and basically let the person confront their anxiety and confront that feared object or item. And the key to this is, although you don't just throw people in, the whole point is that while they're in that situation, the therapist is helping the person okay, let's breathe, let's take it down a notch, let's check in, let's de-escalate. And so the feared situation is paired with relaxation until it's no longer causing anxiety. And so, yeah, VR and AR are giving us really great ways to help people that would have been really, really challenging to treat before, just from a resource perspective. And there's, the fact that you can tweak it. There's been some interesting one. Oh, yeah, there was one about schizophrenia. Someone had used I think it was AR. I don't think it was VR. It was AR. They projected an avatar that somebody had made of the voice that they were hearing. So the person was a voice hearer. They described what the voice would say and kind of what the voice would look like. And then they generated that image so that the person could sit across from their hallucinatory voice and have a conversation and practice saying you're not real. And other strategies that are harder to do in the abstract, we can make more concrete, which is really, really helpful. And that was a very long answer.
No, but thank you. That's great. And the player who had the questions about insomnia and screen time came back to us and said that the hour downtime may help them a lot, and they're going to try guided meditation as well. So thank you very much for that.
Sure. I'm a helper.
Sturkin has a question. During your research or clinical experience, have you found game items like loot boxes causing anxiety or other issues, and to what degree, or getting fixated on an item? And have you seen this as an issue, or?
I haven't seen it in clinical practice. But there are some interesting papers. There's a lot of research going on right now about loot boxes and either gambling equivalents, addictive equivalents, things related to like obsessive compulsive issues underlying it. And so the science is really kind of out there. But from what I can tell of what has been done, in general, people who have difficulty regulating their impulses in one area also have difficulty regulating their impulses in others. So it's not supposed to be sarcastic, but like someone went out and did the research of if someone has problems with impulse control in other aspects of life, do they also have impulse control issues when it comes to things like loot boxes? And the answer is yes. And so at this point, there's not a way of saying like, do loot boxes cause people to become more impulsive? Are they gambling? These are questions that we don't know the answers to at this point. There's a lot of speculation, but not a lot of good science. So in that sense, I haven't seen it. I have worked with individuals who, because of their disorder, are prone to fixated thoughts. So someone, say, on the autism spectrum or sometimes ADHD, you get hyper-focused on one thing, and then you just think about that thing over and over and over and over again. Sometimes it happens to be games, but that would be a far cry from saying that the games caused the issue. It's just that the mental health issue that the person is managing with has now manifested through a game, as opposed to like a really common one is dinosaurs. Okay. People who have that kind of mental fixation can tell you every species of dinosaur and when it lived and what it ate. And, that's one way of fixating on things. And that's, really not that different from that person also fixating on something like a loot box or the way the system works. So two kind of different answers to that question.
Thank you. This actually kind of leads into another question. Do you have any advice for increasing self-awareness of problematic behavior in regard to gaming? Like for this individual, they're saying that there's a particular game that they love, but they can't allow themselves to play it because they will go the entire day with it, playing it without stopping to eat or drink or probably not sleep enough either.
So that's an example of someone who's going to have difficulty regulating that kind of game. And so I would be curious, like, is it just that game or is it that type of game? Because that's some important information to kind of think about. I would say if you feel like you can't control yourself, then what you're doing, then abstaining is probably the right thing. Other tips and tricks you can try, setting timers if you haven't already, scheduling things throughout the day that you have to do, like potty breaks, okay, the next time I have to pee, I'm putting down the phone. And depending on whenever that is, then that could be a couple hours, but at some point you're going to have to pee, even if you don't have to eat. If you've got a kid, you have to go pick them up from school. That's a very concrete, hard deadline. So either fabricate deadlines or organize your world in a way that you have to stop at some point. You can also do things like put parent controls on your own phone. So that way, after a certain amount of time, it locks. Obviously, you'll know the password to unlock it, but that'll take a moment that you have to make that decision to re-engage. And for a lot of people, if they have to push a button to re-engage in something, they're going to drop off. So there's ways of like putting in breaks that can be helpful if you feel like you are gaming too much or maybe having trouble regulating. But yeah, the advice overall would be like, if you really feel like you just can't stop, then you're doing the right thing with just, okay, put it away and just abstaining from it. Yeah.
And are there any communities, websites, or books that you would recommend to us here if you're interested in learning more about mental health in video games?
Well, there's this wonderful website called takethis.org.
Shocker. Yes.
I know. Radical, right? Disclaimer, I work for them. So they have an entire page filled with amazing resources for mental health. They also have a resource page that lists games that are therapeutic, as well as touch on content domains. So games about depression, games about anxiety, games about grief, death, things like that you can check out. There are other organizations that do similar things. So there's Operation Supply Drop and Stack Up. Those are both veteran organized and run communities that focus on using games to bring veterans together. So soldiers in particularly. So if that is a population that's of interest, that's kind of like very special and very niche for them. There's also Game to Grow, who we've talked about. They have a lot of resources there. who am I missing? Rise Against the Disorder. That's another website that does work similar to Take This. And I'm sure I'm forgetting people. I'm blanking on them right now. But in terms of games and mental health, those are probably the big ones.
Yes, well, I can Take This as an amazing organization, and we're always thrilled to work with you guys. So
we appreciate it. We think you're pretty special too.
Aw, shucks.
Aw.
And for those who enjoyed the stream later, Dr. Dunlap is a clinical psychologist with the Take This organization. So
my little dude pin thing.
Yeah. Oh yes, I have one of those too. But
They're
the one
so
with the one with the heart, I think.
I want that one. That's the next one on my list.
Or if you're at a PAX when we're allowed to have those again, we can trade.
One day it will go back to somewhat normal.
Yes.
Maybe. Probably not. It'll change. I'll say it that way. Things are going to change.
We will find a new normal.
New normal. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
We have some more questions. One is about phobia. Is it considered to be separate from a general fear, or?
Okay. Yeah. So phobia is an incredibly intense fear that is disruptive to your life. So for example, if you have a fear of dinosaurs, that probably is not significantly causing you distress in your day-to-day. I, on the other hand, am terrified and phobic of needles, to the point where I pass out and will refuse job offers if I have to get a shot. So that would be phobic levels. I've overcome it because of therapy. But because the fear is something that is so intense and it stands in the way of your of doing the things that you want to do, it's disruptive to your life, then it becomes a level of a phobia. And that's just a good point for any mental health issue, is that you can have symptoms, but until they're rising to the level that you feel like they're having a negative impact on the way that you exist, that's the definition of a disorder, is something that is having a significant negative impact in some aspect of your life, whether it's social or physical or emotional or career or academic. That's where it kind of crosses that threshold.
Thank you for the definition, because I know that's something that's often sort of confused. It's is it a general fear, or no, it's something that interferes with your life. So thank you very much. Well, I feel like I should let you get on with your day, and thank you very much for joining us. It's been fantastic to have you, and really enlightening.
I'm so happy to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me. These have been really amazing, wonderful questions, and your community is very insightful and inquisitive, and that makes me so happy.
Well, it's the community as well. They're helping me out with a lot of questions, so thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Dunlap.
Yay, community!
And hopefully I'll be able to see you when we can go to a PAX at some point.
That would be fantastic. I would love that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Bye for now.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. Thanks so much.
Okay, great. That was Dr. Kelli Dunlap from the Take This organization. And now I am going to get Shawn on the stream, because he is a fun person to talk to for the next hour of our stream. And hopefully we don't have a repeat of what I didn't mark. Or I'm not sure. I'm not sure we can take another ding dong meme. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And while Shawn joins us, I'm going to answer some questions. Perilous Pear at the beginning of the stream asked how many blessings you must have to get that much gold. By blessings, I'm assuming favor. This is later in the event, so I have more favor, but I typically start my event runs by using a couple of potions of clairvoyance just to increase my gold find to build up my favor faster. So that's that. And we'll get Shawn on the line. And Giant Dwarf has a question: how amused or amazed have I been by the coloring pages that the fans have been churning out? I am amazed by the breadth of talent in the community. I've been fortunate enough to see a bunch of the talent at PAX, and now I get to see the talent of a bunch of you scattered across the globe. So that's fantastic. And it's been really awesome to see all of your work in the Discord and on our social media. So if you want to color some of our sheets, check out our blog for a good list of our sheets. And for every 100 that are completed, we will release one code. And then this week specifically, for every 25 Havilars we get, we'll release a Silver Chest code for Havilar. So, yes, and Shawn has joined.
Yeah.
So
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I can hear you.
Woo. Fantastic.
Yay, no ding-dongs this time.
Oh.
Sad,
yeah.
but also good.
Sad, but they can't see you, so I need to switch to you. And then I need to change the text because you are not Dr. Kelli Dunlap.
I have definitely not earned the title of a doctor.
And Shawn. And you are at Chaotic Good Monk.
Yeah, that's me. Just trying to
That's
reorganize my
you.
desktop. Hey, that's
you.
me. Yeah.
Yep, we are
So
good
to
to
organize my
go.
desktop so that everything's all in spot so I can see everything.
You're now in Shawn form.
Shawn form at my final peak.
Yes.
How's it going? How's your day been?
It's been good.
Yeah?
It's a stream heavy day today because I'm at the Crusader stream in the morning and then I do this in the afternoon. So it's fun. I feel a little bit like we're playing. It feels like a weird game, the Tea Party in Alice in Wonderland where they all change places and then everyone runs around and switch places. I feel a little bit like we're doing that with the streaming studio, but it's been great.
Oh yeah, especially Thursdays especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I get to pop in tomorrow and do Griddle Champions. Yeah, Griddle
10
Champions.
a.m.
Yeah.
Show the weekend buff.
Bright and early.
Bright and early.
Yeah.
At the bright early hour of 10 in the morning.
Yeah, 10. It's early for me usually. It used to be.
Oh, really?
My previous jobs, I used to work like late nights and like closing shifts.
Right.
So then moving over to like full on like 9 to 5 has been glorious. But I'm not up to like 4 in the morning anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, everything's kind of weird now, but
yeah. I'm trying to keep a very specific schedule of like I'm in bed at 11 o'clock, like, and then however long it takes me to fall asleep is up to me, but usually it's within like half an hour or so.
Good. Gotta check your sleep hygiene there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Dr. Kelli Dunlap has lots of tips for you.
Yeah, the bed is useful for 2 things apparently.
Yes.
She said, I was like, oh, can we say that? Are we allowed to say that? Oh no.
It happened. But I think we're allowed to say it in that context.
Yes.
Yeah.
When she was talking about the loot boxes, that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some games previously that I spent like so much money on. And I was like, wait, I'm gambling right now. This is not good. I need to stop.
No.
Yeah.
Have you done any coloring sheets? I want to know.
I have not. I have zero artistic talent.
I don't believe it.
No.
I don't believe it.
I don't even know if I have like pencil crayons or markers. I know I have like whiteboard markers, but that's about it.
Well, you can do it in paint. You've seen some of the like classic paint things.
Oh, that'll be even worse.
No, do it. Do you not want them to get their codes?
Oh, they can earn it. They're good.
You are a part of the community, Shawn.
That's true.
So
I have been busy plugging away at everyone's tickets, so that's why I haven't done it yet.
But you caught up yesterday.
I did.
So you
Finally. I am finally all caught up. That does not mean make more tickets to give me more work. It means I am fully caught up.
Giant Dwarf says that they're not an artistically inclined person, yet the coloring has been a fun distraction.
Okay.
I did not do coloring for arguably decades before PAX, but after doing that in the context, I'm like, oh, this is really nice actually. So it's been very soothing.
Well, now I probably have to color. I have to make pancake art. I have to set up an obstacle course for my cats. Like this weekend's busy.
Oh, Zeke is suggesting that the community submit tickets telling you to color.
That will be the fastest mass reply close all you've ever seen in your life.
You do your work in Paint, you attach it, mass reply. Done.
You can't put images or anything into the ticket. I have to upload it somewhere and then put it there. If I do it in Paint, I will do it. I will put it in Discord.
Yeah.
So no promises.
No promises.
I will pop it in Discord if and when I do get to it.
And yes, it's been awesome to see your guys' work in the Discord. So thank you for posting them and on our social media.
Yeah. Thank you to ASFFFFFF asking how for me to get a raise. I really appreciate that. The past 2 weeks have been very like a lot, like just like having that many tickets was giving me a lot of anxiety where I was working longer days to like try and catch up, and I was like, all right, I'm getting there, and then something would pop up, like day 7 of the code didn't work, and that was like tickets, and I was like, oh, I just keep trying, it's not working. Yeah, but it's good.
I feel you. The spring extravaganza was
definitely an extravaganza.
It was an extravaganza for us both, because I remember like talking to you on Mattermost at like 7 or 8 at night.
Yeah, it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's like, oh, you're still working too?
Like, yeah. Gotta do the thing.
No. Yeah. I was like, when that happened, I was like, oh man, I gotta stop working. But I'm like, I'll get down to like 50, and then I'll be fine. And then I don't know. I think something happened overnight where something happened with the server overnight, and then like I came back to like 170 tickets, and I was like, we're back. Okay. And then like that was the cycle until like yesterday. When I think I stopped working at like 6 yesterday, and I was like, I have 1 left, and it's just a follow up. I'm like, yes.
You're out, Sean out.
Yeah.
Trontonian says to you, as a person in support as well, I know your pain, Sean, and the joy of being cut up. So, yeah.
Love to you. Like us support staff are gonna keep the world working still.
Michael USA is asking Margaret, can you show us the fluffy pink beholder that keeps getting mentioned in stream? I would love to, but it is not allowed for public consumption yet. But it is.
It's so cute. Oh my god!
It is
I'm so excited for it.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. It was just a drawing. That's all it was. Not a big deal.
Oh, and apparently there's a petition to add me to the game. No. Or maybe Celeste is my avatar. We'll take that.
Yeah. So does it mean we have to get you to do a Celeste cosplay?
If we do it as an extra life stretch goal, I'll do it.
Yeah. You do that and I can do Tyrell. That's fine.
Okay.
I have the stuff for Tyrell already, so it'll work.
That would be a fun stream. Yeah. Celeste and Tyrell's Grand Adventure.
Yeah. Oh, one of my fluff balls showed up.
Oh yeah, we have questions. There's been the community is asking where are your furry familiars?
Well, one of them just walked in the room.
Okay.
He's exploring. The other one's just been lazing on the couch quite a bit. Yeah, Artemis has just been taking this quarantine in chill mode.
Quarantine and chill, idle and chill.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Here comes the big guy. Oh no, he ran away.
Nope.
Never mind.
Camera shy.
I bumped something. Bumped a McDonald's bag.
And Zeke, you're asking what you missed the first half of the stream. We had an interview with Dr. Kelli Dunlap from the Take This organization about mental health in video games, and it was wonderful to have her on. So definitely check out the video of the day.
Yeah.
The VOD.
Yeah, there's a lot of really insightful stuff there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're experiencing those kind of things, like it's good to just like take that moment, listen to it, and I did see someone in chat earlier today like called out that like watching our streams has been very helpful for them, and I really appreciate you bringing that up because I think we've been working hard to try and keep that going, right?
Yeah.
So.
And there's Firebird. B-Tops is saying that if we added Sean to the game, he can fix things from the inside too. Well, you could plant flags for the devs, being like, "It's broken here."
Yeah. Like this string right here. This is what's broken.
This is
fix
broken.
this. Yeah. And then I trip over something and break something else. That's it, right? So.
Yeah, it's sort of one of the jokes in programming is like, okay, 99 bugs on the wall. Take one down, patch it up. 103 bugs on the wall.
Yeah.
And
that's so true. I'm not even a programmer, and I just like that's so true.
Baby Illy 2000 has a ticket question. When someone gives you a reply like a thank you, then closes the ticket, do you still get the response? Do you get thank yous?
Yeah, I get kind of marks it as like a different color for me, as like it's been closed. 99% of the time I check it, and I double check it anyway to see if there's something else in there, because sometimes people can close them on accident. But I do see the thank yous. The past week I've been doing that a little bit less, because just an effort to speed things along. But I appreciate everybody who's taken the time to say thank you, to show the words of support, and I've caught up, guys. We did it.
We love you for that. Thank you. It's done. It's over.
Done. Yeah.
For now.
I did a lot. I put it in our Mattermost last night. I was like the Frodo, with throwing the ring in the fire, like it's over, right? And then Erica's like, "Did you do emails?" I was like, "No, that's tomorrow's job."
No.
Yeah. But I got those done too, so we're good.
All done. We're all caught up, which is why you're here. So that I could pull you on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I only have a couple left right now, so I've been taking this as a stride day.
Racken Gartham is asking, so what's the deal with Melf? Is Melf from a book or from a D&D show? Melf is Luke Gygax's character. Gygax. Thank you for making fun of the way I say things. I appreciate that, Sean.
What I'm here for.
The hazing continues. Yeah.
It's not even hazing at this point. It's just playful teasing.
Oh, so we got a new person, and now the hazing. It's no longer hazing because I'm not the new person. Something like that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
But Melf is Luke Gygax's character, and Luke is Gary Gygax's son.
Yeah.
So,
Melf, the male elf.
Actually, not.
No, I know, but it's the fun naming convention for it.
Yeah. And yes, of Melf's acid arrow and Melf's minute meteors.
Wait, I'm gonna get him. 1 second.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going for the cat.
Oh, he's so big.
Nice.
Come here, buddy. Welcome to the table.
I can't remember what the ginger one's called.
It's Apollo.
Apollo.
Wait.
So you have Apollo and Artemis?
Yeah. Oh, that's just
nice. It's a nice.
He's so big. He's so big. There's the other one too. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you big into Greek mythology then, or?
I am a little bit. I do like Greek mythology quite a bit. My girlfriend though is very, very into it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, she's all about Greek mythology. She believes in them as the actual gods rather than anything else in the world. So there's times all the jokes about big people calling like Hera prettier than Persephone and all that kind of stuff. She's like, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
This is how we get the Trojan War.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all because of an apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know like a bit of the major stories. She does a bit more of the finer details of that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I did. Yeah. I did classics, so it was expected that for a lot of it that you just need to know the belief system, but also just the lore.
Yeah.
That's the best way to.
Yeah, I remember taking it in middle school and stuff, and part of the social studies classes, and being like, "This is really cool." And I think I liked Egyptian mythology more than Greek at that point. But it's been so long since I've looked into any of that kind of stuff.
Oh. There's a lot. There's a lot of crossover with Greek and Roman too.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Norse is awesome, but yeah. Says you guys have some of the best support I've ever engaged with. So
thank
props to you, Sean. And Praetor Bengus says, Sean, thanks. I appreciate your prompt responses. So
thank you. My goal is to try to get usually in things within a day or so. So when I'm getting outside of that, it starts frustrating me. I'm like, no, this should be done within a day or two. So and especially over weekends, there was one point I think I was 4 days behind, and I was like, this is not okay, and I just started going as fast as I could to try and get things done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chef Sake is asking, can you include Montilo Debussy, the teacher of Dritz, or Ivan and Pickle Boulder Shoulder? We don't have plans to add them as of yet, but we're never say never, but that is not in our current plans.
I think the next couple ones are all pretty set up.
Yes. Shh. No spoilers.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I don't say that. I don't spoil things. That's not my job.
That's my job. And
Yeah,
Chris's job.
I fix things. Well,
Spoils things,
I don't
fixes
actually.
things, spoils things.
I don't fix things.
You say, here, fix this thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kawani is asking, any hint about the second code? Tried about millions of things and no luck yet. So you guys have the Ayla code. The other one is for Narak.
Narak, yeah.
So I would say it would be a similar-ish pattern to the Wild Elf Barb in terms of race, and then not quite class, but close. Maybe subclass. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not giving hints because I'll just give the code out if I get one.
And Nomad 84. Shawn, do you get opportunities to do any data analysis type stuff, track trends for the types of issues reported at the start of events, etc., or does most of the work end up being more about the digging up the root cause of individual tickets?
Most of the work is about like, the root cause of it all, to figure out like what the actual problem is. Tends to be some like common things that happen with events. Like a lot of sometimes if something's gonna, let's say there's like a one that requires a specific formation, or like Melf needs to be in the formation. A lot of the time, if something's gonna break, it's gonna be the fact that a formation save can overwrite that kind of stuff. Right. That's usually the first kind of thing. So it's like depending on the variants, which are usually the case, if something does break, it's going to be the variant. Then there's usually I can usually go back over past trends and figure out what's gone there, but not like I don't do a lot of data analysis kind of stuff.
We have a data wizard.
Yes.
We call him Chris.
Yeah.
There's two Chris.
Yeah.
Two Chris's. Chris High.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Chris's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris squared.
English Chris, American Chris.
Yeah.
And CD88 is saying, "Ooh, you're wearing a Critical Role cap."
Critical Role. They put out a new one.
The new cap.
And they have a new Critical Role hat, and I almost bought it this morning. Yeah. It looked really good. I was like, my girlfriend was in the room. We were talking about it, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, add to cart." And I was like, "No, the shipping's gonna be horrible and it'll take forever, and I'll get it eventually."
Eventually.
Yeah. But I think I got this one when they were at Gen Con at their booth.
Mm.
So maybe if they do go to Gen Con again, then I can maybe pick it up there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or just add to cart.
Yeah, but the shipping from them is always really high because it's from the States.
Right.
Right. So it's like an extra it's usually an extra like $15 to $20 US for shipping. So to buy a $20 hat in US and then $20 shipping, like.
Nice. Okay. Wicked Clown is asking, are the familiars useful or are they just for show?
Oh man, they're so useful.
Yes, they're the 6 that are on the field right now would be doing click damage if my champions would let any monsters come in. But
is your click damage level that high? I'm covering it so I can't see.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. It's not that high right now. There we go.
Yeah,
and
click damage is equal like the level you're on for it to actually do damage to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm setting up for stream. Don't judge me.
I'm not. I'm just saying. As an answering to the
answering question. Yes. Thank you, Shawn.
Yeah.
And then they are auto leveling my champions right now, which is very handy.
Yeah. And the ultimate bar roaming is always really good.
Yes. Let's idle champions be a bit more idle.
Yes. Carwart judges.
Which is always.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. It's like, oh, Margaret, you should post in, the formations channel. And I'm like, I like to figure it out by myself.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I keep thinking about like putting my formation in there, but I was like, nah, I don't want to get ripped apart.
Just like we need to make like an alt account that's like not Margaret and not Shawn.
That can be the name.
Yeah.
I'll post it not Margaret, you post it not Shawn.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But wouldn't we be almost violating like our own community guidelines for impersonating each other?
But we're not. I'm not Margaret. Right?
I'm not Shawn.
Exactly. I don't think we're impersonating anybody.
Firedale 2002. Is there a plan to add a slot 13? Not at this time.
Nope.
12 it is. Nice round dozen.
Yeah.
Garwar is saying that they need Critical Role beanies. Doesn't wear baseball caps. I would wear a Critical Role beanie.
Yeah. I was actually never really into wearing hats until I cut this one, and now it's always on my head for the most part. But yeah, I would like a beanie too. I think even just like the logo on like the side of it in the front would be good.
Oh, and people are saying that I should post under Teragram because it's Margaret backwards.
Ooh.
So thank you, Firedale.
That's Teragram actually sounds good though. That's like that's a good name.
Yeah. That could work. That could be a new alias, except for
Mine's
now
like,
you
what,
all know my alias. So.
Yeah, mine's Nawas? Like
Nawas? No.
Nah, not as good as Teragram.
Teragram.
Yeah.
Mysterious.
Yeah. Garwar, Teragram better than Nawas, definitely.
Speller Bass is asking how you're coping without your weekly dose of Critical Role.
Oh man, it's difficult. Considering like the next episode is like episode 100 too. Like that, it adds so much like and I feel like I almost feel bad for Critical Role in that aspect too, because I guess the expectation now is it's gonna be such a big episode because it's episode 100, and I think everyone's just waiting to see what's gonna happen, and I think the longer it takes,
hype.
yeah, the more it'll be, right? So.
And they left it on a cliffhanger.
Yes. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the episode 99 just to remember what happened. It's been a while now.
You need like a last time on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you play D&D, do you ever have someone do a last time on?
We do a little bit.
Okay.
But kind of like I'll do a little bit of it, and then the people in the party will do a bit of it too. So, yeah. We played last weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, and my players are disgusting.
They're disgusing?
Yeah, so they killed somebody, and which was part of the fight. You know, that's part of the thing. And then they're like, "Oh, well, we actually need him to get into like the person's like home because their family's still there." So, oh, I know, we're gonna peel the skin off this guy, put him on our skeleton, and we'll use that as like a fake. And I was like, "Well, your background's a doctor, so like I guess I'll roll for it." And of course, he crit on it. So I was like, "All right." Like, you peeled this guy's skin off his bone and put it on your skeleton. All right. We're stopping here because I have to now work out what's going to happen next week.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing with D&D with my 11-year-old goddaughter, and
oh yeah.
So it's she's not peeling the skin off of
I hope not
corpses. But it's like we're also like talking with her, or we're playing with her parents too, and we're like, okay, how much blood and guts is okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do miss our like lunchtime game.
Yes.
It's just I miss that like the little bit of like just like the friendly banter we had, and like as like all of our characters and stuff. It's like it's much different than what the game I'm running in and the after work one. So it's just nice to break from like evil. Yeah.
Oh, we have a question from Kiersnowski. So what is the best way to use Delina? Everyone seems to think that she is worthless. I seem to be accumulating purples on her.
I mean, she's still useful, but she's just not the best, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, she is a DPS, so use her as you would a DPS, but there are stronger ones out there.
Yeah. She's more like the meme at this point. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think we missed out on not adding like 1,000 zeros to her damage or something for like for April Fool's Day or something like that.
But also something to add to her is that she's an evergreen champion, so your gold chests will gear her up.
Yeah. But once she's full in purple, then that's generally good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might regret saying this on stream, but I think the worst thing that I've ever been called while working this job that I will repeat is being called Delina. I was like, oh, I can handle a lot of things. But that hurt.
Yeah, that's just straight rude at that point.
That hurt. But mostly people are very nice. Let me just clarify that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's with 0.01%. It's
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like most things I can handle is the Lena. You take that back. You take that back right now.
Yeah. How dare you call me that? No, never mind. There was further jokes I wanted to make, but I don't think they're appropriate. So I'll stop.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, gotta cut
Knowing them
myself there. Yeah, that was like, oh no.
Question from
Yeah.
Rao Gung. What happened to those Twitch drops? Did the powers that be decide not to do them anymore? Is the Birdsong by this much? I'm not sure we're going to be able to swing doing another Birdsong Twitch drop, but our green flame gym skin will be done as a Twitch drop, and that will be soon.
TM.
Sooner than soon TM.
Oh.
But we're waiting for on a couple things to be finalized.
Yeah.
So yes. And then, yeah. Zeke is asking if Sean, are your formations better than Margaret's?
Obviously. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna have like Sean versus Margaret race.
Oh yeah. Why don't we do this then? After we're done streaming, when you get home, we'll pick a place to do a formation in, and we'll both post it in the formation. All right. We'll both do it. So we'll both rip apart together.
Next week, I've got a list of tasks I need to do after streaming.
Okay. No, we'll plan for next week then.
Yeah.
We can do it. We can do it before the stream. Yeah, I don't know if we have guests for next week, and then we can come on and we can talk. Okay.
Talk about who has the better.
Yeah.
For me, or should we do for the same campaign? Like.
Yeah, like we'll either pick like a Torm one or like we'll pick one and we'll go with it together.
Okay.
Okay.
Deal.
All right.
They're ready to judge us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael USA is asking Margaret how many coloring sheets to get to slot 13. Not in my control, so.
Yeah. 7 billion.
You say that, but then they'll make 7 billion.
Differently colored ones.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing I can control.
Yeah.
Yeah, never really used to be into the coloring, but like now I'm like, this is really soothing.
There was a point a couple years ago where I think we're adult coloring just kind of like made a huge comeback. Like all of a sudden, like adult coloring books were just everywhere on Amazon and online, and everyone in my office had one at the time. Like.
Firebird B Tops. So Sean, what anime are you following this?
Oh yeah, new season stuff.
Yeah.
Man, that's a question for my girlfriend. She did all the planning for this season, and usually does. I think there's a new season of Sword Art that I'm actually kind of excited for. We're watching one called. Hold on, I will find it.
Okay.
Here, ask the next question, and I'll come back to this one.
That sounds reasonable. Ragnar has a low priority request. Would it be possible to consolidate a few of the resource channels on Discord for new players, wiki resources, stats guides? Lots of redundant info are unused. That is definitely something that we could look into. I think it's worthwhile. It's just it becomes a matter of the priorities for the week, but it's something that's on my radar for sure. So Thank you for poking me about that.
I found it.
Sean, anime.
So a couple of things this season we're going to be watching. It's one's called Kaguya-sama. It's about it's like student council president and this girl who both like each other, but they both don't want to tell each other they like each other. So it's a battle to see who loses first. Sword Art, which is one. Then there's Food Wars, which is really good, which is on and off been good, but I just want to have that one finished. And there's one. Man, the title is so long. Is there an English title for it? Oh boy, nope. I'll start with it's called Otome Game. It's where a girl gets teleported into a game. It's like a visual novel style game where she is the villain and her goal is to not die. Because all paths will lead to her being exiled or killed.
Oh wow!
So her entire goal is to knowing that the game does that. She needs to not have that happen to her. It's actually really funny. I didn't think it'd be that funny, but it really is. And then new Digimon Adventure. So that one I'm super happy. I'm happy for.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are kind of my big ones this season.
Ooh. This is a really interesting question from Firedale 2002. Shawn, Margaret, and the rest of the See Me Games team, what's the biggest thing you don't miss during all this isolation stuff?
Oh man, I don't know. That's actually kind of tough. What do I not miss?
Handshakes.
Yeah,
But
but anyway, how often do you handshake people in a regular time frame, right?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Traffic's been great.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
I
mean, I could go with not lining up to get in the grocery store. Like, I understand the reasoning for it, and it's great that they're doing it, but it's also a little annoying.
No. But what's the thing that like you?
Yeah.
No. Like that happened before social isolation that you don't have to do anymore and that you're happy about
Yeah.
because we didn't have to line up. But so like.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be like kind of seeing people, but now I'm a lot more extroverted than I originally thought I was. Yeah. So that's been off.
So you thought you were going to be excited by not seeing people, but now you actually like people.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's a big thing. Yeah, I used to believe I was like a very, very introverted person, but now not being able to see people or like go to the office and see friends has been like,
Yeah. Traffic's been great.
Yeah, I don't drive, so that doesn't imagine me too much. But I can see, I've seen the roads being empty, so I imagine so.
Commute from the bedroom to the workstation is shortest commute I've ever had.
Yeah,
so that's been great.
Yeah, I feel like I've lost that on podcast time during the so usually the walk to work is all like podcast or music, and I feel like I don't have that in the 2 seconds it takes me to walk across the hall into the computer room.
Yeah. Erica doesn't miss the people who would just walk in their creepy zone behind her. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The amount of personal space has been very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Normally I ride my bike to work, but now that I only go in once a week and stream, I drive, partly because I'm paranoid that if I leave my bike outside, because there's not a lot of people outside anymore, it's going to get stolen.
Oh, poor Dexter. Yeah.
Dexter, who is our ops manager, had the misfortune of having his bike being stolen in our 24-hour extra live stream.
Yeah.
Our office is not in the greatest area. It's generally safe during the day, not a problem. Late at night, not so great.
Yeah. It's not in a bad spot, but it's also not in like the best spot.
Yeah.
It's that weird middle ground, right?
Yeah. So. But with fewer people, I'm like, anyway,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
It'd be very obvious if someone stole my bike. Just, it's bright pink with a basket on the front.
Yeah, but then you could run home, so I don't think that's a big issue for you.
Well, if I'm not like in running stuff, like running and not running shoes can really hurt you.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you can walk. Garwer has a question. Caddy Ree's mark for death appears to go away when Ayla primes them with Storm Aura. Is this intended or an odd interaction?
That sounds like an odd interaction to me. Yeah.
That sounds like a bug.
That sounds like a ticket, Garwar.
That sounds like a ticket. Also tell Shawn to color. And also, following up this question, again from Garwar, Shandy's explosive arrow does not show damage amount. It increases per enemy hit, either in-game or on the champion spotlight. It only shows percent increased on the item that buffs it. What is the base amount? Do you know the answer, Shawn?
I don't. I just leveled up Shandy right now. Shandy fires explosive arrows.
Are you doing it in the document?
No. I just opened up. I have the game open still, so I've just been looking in here.
Yeah.
For each enemy hit, it doesn't have anything in there.
Let me consult the document. Do you want to take over the stream for like consult the document?
Sure. Matt Main 262. How do we get Melf's broken RNG achievement? By perseverance, really. It's a lot of just going through and hoping for the RNG to be in your favor. Unless there's a special way that someone else found out that I have not looked up yet. It has been fixed, so there were some issues with it beforehand, but we did get those fixed, so it should be all good now. Where'd my cursor go? Oh my god.
I don't have a number on the base for Shandy's explosive arrow, so that is a Justin question.
Yeah, so Gar, if you just want to make a ticket with those two things, and I will look into those and get back to you on that.
We will consult the Justin. Go on a journey to the
Consult
wise.
the elder brain.
Yep, that's about right.
Yeah.
Journey to petition answers from the wise elder brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Have you done all of your Genghis?
Have I? I think so. I think I just haven't done Nurak's. I haven't done the 2 achievements for Nurak and Melf yet, because I haven't had time to really play. So I've been lucky enough to get a formation going and a variant and letting it go, and then coming back the next day and all right, it's finished, and then repeat.
Did you do your Strahd training?
My what? Sorry.
Your Strahd training?
No, I have not touched patrons at all.
But there's I think it's Mel's variant. One of Mel's variants is basically training for Strahd because it has the same.
Oh yeah, the 5th 13. Yeah, I did that one. I have completed all the variants. So, which one was the? Oh, it's the problem solvers. Yeah. So that's Strahd training 101. Yeah.
Intro to Strahd.
Yeah, but other than that, I have not even touched Strahd or patrons or anything really.
Idle Champion's harder, and it's oh, but wait, no, we also need to work.
Yeah. Now that things have calmed down a bit, I'll probably have time to actually start going through and play a little bit more. But I have a couple of things to catch up on still that I've been pushing off while working on tickets.
Yes. Chef Sasha is asking how about to include a D&D character creator and played with a self-made character as a champion. Unfortunately, the way that the game is designed, that is unlikely to ever appear.
Yeah.
Regrettably. Damned has a question. Are there any plans to optimize the way save formations load? I love the new number of slave slots, but on PC, the champions are still hidden until you get gold, so it makes sense to have to load the formation set familiars with multiple selections of the same formation. Also,
I mean, that's definitely a thing for Graham.
For Graham.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do a quick load right now.
Let's
see.
Yes, you made more formation saves, but can you make them better?
Yeah.
And better. And better.
I only loaded that. Who's in this formation? Oh god. Everybody gets...
And Garwar has another very likely Justin question about Mel's 2nd and 3rd variants are incredibly hard for new players for multiple reasons. No real tank available early, and alts don't fire on non-targetable enemies, not enough champs allowed, etc. Is this a design issue or the new plan for variants going forward? Are new players just not expected to be able to do some event variants for the current year's champion?
I think the plan is to make them difficult. Right, they're not not all of them are supposed to be easy and blow through them, right?
Yeah.
What was that Artemis one?
The infamous assassin.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The goal was to actually have I guess from my understanding, is that there should be a way to there is an achievement aspect to it, right? You have to work to get that because you're getting the achievement for completing all 3. You're getting the gold chest, so it's not just gonna be charisma 12 and above. Have fun, right? So,
yeah. So difficult. They may not be achievable for every new player, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it. You can if you couldn't do it then, you can then get it later on in a
time gate or the next time the event comes around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Kudnowski is asking, Okay, here's a good one for you. What is your favorite offline computer game to play?
Specifically computer game or just game?
It says specifically computer game, but I want to hear both.
Yeah. Favorite offline? Oh man. I'm trying to think of a game I always go back to, but I don't really go back to games.
I'm gonna put out a classic, Oregon Trail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was the last time you played Oregon Trail?
It's been a while,
Well, yeah.
but it's a favorite.
I think I've played it like maybe once and then died of dysentery. And I was like, this game sucks. I can say that right now the game I'm really into is Persona 5 Royal. When I finished work yesterday, that's like all I did. When I finished after making dinner, it was just like, all right, play Persona 5 Royal. So honestly, any of the Persona games are some of my favorite games. So.
Nice. Yeah, and then for offline games, I'm gonna sort of cheat this question and say a board game. Probably my favorite board game right now is Terra Mystica.
I played that like last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know how I felt about it. It was okay. I thought it was okay.
Who'd you play with?
My girlfriend and my sister.
Which faction did you play as?
I was Nomad.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I made a mistake in not upgrading to like the temple and like the other big building like right away. So like they both did it, and I was like, I was just expanding.
Oh yeah, no.
Right, and so I realized, those things are really important. Okay, yeah. And then by that point, I was like so far behind. I just like, all right, well, this game's done for me.
Oh yeah, Chris is saying that nomads are the worst. Yeah. I personally really like playing with the witches, are one of my favorite factions to play in that.
I think that was my sister.
And
no, witches are green, right?
Yes.
Okay, no, Nevada had the witches.
Yeah.
And my sister was the black pieces. I don't remember what they are.
They are the alchemists, or
I think it was the alchemists.
Okay.
Yeah. We did like the opening starter one. Yeah. Chris is very clear that the nomads are literally the worst ones to play in the game.
The worst. Literally the worst.
Yeah. Well, that's why I lost that. It's not because of me. It's because that faction is the worst to play.
The Arin are the worst. I'm sorry. Yeah. The Arin. Yeah.
Yeah, I might try it again, but
yeah, I really like the witches or the cultists or the chaos magicians.
Have you seen Tabletopia?
No.
Or have you tried it? So it's like a website you can play board games on.
Oh, okay. I play on Board Game Arena. So.
Oh, okay. We were playing on Tabletopia. It's really fun because you can like mess with other people's pieces. So whenever like we were playing a different game beforehand, like it was just like Escape from a Mountain card game, and that I kept like flipping people's like pieces on them before they wouldn't notice. So it was good. It was funny.
Nice.
I think the next question was missing some.
Yes.
Yeah. I assume that one was about Azaka.
Azaka.
Yeah.
Missing the beginning, but specifically note she increases gold fine, but she doesn't have the gold roll tag. Is this purpose for balance reasons? I'm assuming that it's Azaka.
I'm assuming so.
I'm not sure. It's hard to know without the entire question. But yeah. Knocking Futs 42 is, are you all working on fixing the formation manager? It keeps messing up and delays the names.
Erica. Thank you, Erica. You're doing great work.
Erica, you're amazing. We couldn't do it without you.
But
yes, we are planning on, if there's something that seems broken, we are planning on fixing it. But have you received tickets about the formation save manager deleting names?
Not deleting names. I've been seeing ones about them deleting one and then it coming back, but I haven't been able to replicate it yet. And I assume they're deleting it. They're like on like an end area where they haven't progressed. They're deleting something, resetting, and then reloading the game, but it hasn't saved that it's been deleted. The game hasn't saved it all, so that could be why it's doing that. That's my guess, but yeah.
The more you know. But also, if something seems broken,
Make a ticket.
please make a ticket. It's
Yep.
more worth it to make a ticket and have Sean have to mass reply than for us to not be aware of something. So
Exactly.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Orca Leader is asking, are there plans for community-generated variants? None so far.
Currently, yeah.
Not currently, but hey, speculate on your ideas.
I mean, we read suggestions.
We do.
Suggestions channel. So
Yes. We're not always the most active in answering in the suggestions channel, but we do read it.
yeah, we do see it. Yeah.
Failed Symphony is asking, are there plans to make a formation editor so you can change the formations saved without actually pulling those champions into the field? Not that I'm aware of, but I can bring the idea to the team.
That could be like a cool feature down the line, but yeah.
Ooh, Dylan is asking, Sean, I made a new order from the Critical Role shop. New snap black hat, Caleb shirt, not detective shirt for Catherine. What items from the shop are you most looking forward to?
Well, I want the snapback.
So hi, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan. I want the snapback hat. That one looks really cool. I want the new hoodie because my hoodie is I got in too small of a size. That or I've also gotten bigger. So so I want those two things. But that hoodie's like $100. But they're so soft. And I want the new the Caleb shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, Dylan, I have your almond milk.
Random.
We went to Costco, and it's like if someone's
right.
going to stand in line for Costco, it should be one person, not like lots of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kanowski has a question. Okay, a favorite question currently at 2.2 e to the 10. Lathander, favor.
So I guess he's saying
Yeah.
like should he stay idling in
Should he
that
stay
area?
idling in that area, or do something else?
You don't want to idle for more than like an hour or two.
No.
I think Gar brings this up quite a bit in his streams, is that like you don't want to be idling for too long because there's a drop off point where then you're not really gaining much to improve your favor. So you're better off like getting to a point like idling for an hour or two, getting that favor, resetting, and then starting again, and then
Push further.
kind of rinse repeat through that. And you'll get a little bit further, then a little bit further, and it'll be better that way. So.
And no, Dave the Aztec, I didn't raid the office fridge. I went to the bulk store.
To the bulk store.
To the bulk store to buy many of things, but not too much. Not like
I'm
when
lucky. I have 50 Foods like 2 seconds away from my house,
nice.
from my condo, so I don't have to wait. I don't have to go that far to get groceries.
Have you panic bought anything?
No.
Okay.
No. What we did do is we bought 2 things of toilet paper, assuming that at some point everyone's gonna run out and then we'd be out of it. So we're trying to keep a supply of just like 1 full package right now, and cycling it through. And then once things are over, then we'll be fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I went grocery shopping and I bought 4 kilos of onions.
Oh yes.
Sean knows,
many-
but
how
I will
many have
tell
you
the
used
rest
so
of you.
How many have you used?
We've used like 2 kilos. So
Oh, that's a lot of onion. You use that pretty quick.
yeah, we do a lot of that. But it was like they had this big stack of onions, and I'm like, oh, that means I can take some. And then I got to the point I'm like, there's too many onions in my basket.
Like, wait a minute.
I can't put them back. I've touched them.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm making French onion soup this weekend with the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
I
very
probably
excited
would
about
have
that.
bought more, but my fridge just like sucks. So it makes it hard to like buy a lot of things and try and keep it for long. So
And Kyle XRE X. Do you also send a ticket if you have suggestions? As a ticket man.
I mean, sure, if you have them. That doesn't mean send a lot of them. My preference is that those go into the Discord
or on our
suggestions, or on Reddit.
Reddit Q&A.
Yeah.
Always happy to
Like,
take your
ideally, I
suggestions.
want to keep like the tickets for bugs and actual issues.
Yeah.
But if you have a bug, like your Melf achievement wasn't working, and you're like, oh, I also have a suggestion for blank, then sure. But I want the tickets to be primarily about actual issues in game.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Or the fun game, bug or feature.
Yeah. Yeah, features. Yeah.
Have you tried any new recipes?
I actually have not been doing a lot of cooking. No.
Okay. I made.
I'm making nachos tonight though. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we usually do on Thursdays. It's nachos and a Critical Role. But because obviously no Critical Role, we're watching the My Hero Academia movie because apparently it's on Netflix. So I'm really excited. Really excited for that.
Did Dexter visit you yet today?
Not yet. I actually haven't checked my Mattermost.
Okay.
Oh.
So, and fun things that C&E has done for us. Our ops manager, probably done with the blessing of our lovely 3 owners, have put together care packages for us.
Oh, did you get yours already?
Well, I was here.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes, that makes sense.
Do you want to see what's in it?
No. I don't want to spoil. No,
you don't
spoil me, Margaret. No, don't spoil me.
I was going to show it.
No, I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it?
Okay, I'll close my eyes. Go for it. Show everybody.
You
close my eyes.
Okay.
I don't want to see it. I want to be a surprise.
Shortbreads. And then, well, I can't.
Don't say it.
Well, I have to say it. I have to describe it.
Hold on. Take my headphones off.
Okay. And then they're also giving us a coupon for delivery for us to go get some delivery food if we want that as well. So that's really awesome. That was a complete surprise. And now Sean can put it back on his headphones.
Right.
Just
Hold my ass. Okay.
Yeah. I was excited. It was like, ooh, packages. But yeah. But yeah,
I don't want no spoilers.
our ops manager is off as Dexter's delivery service today. And yes, we did post the Kiki's delivery service and Photoshop his face on it.
They did it in the wrong channel, and we had to get sassed a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, it was very sweet of them.
Oh, I'm excited to get mine.
And Michael USA is asking, have you been griddling, Sean?
I don't think I do have a griddle. I just don't use it. Yeah.
But you'll be griddling tomorrow.
I will be tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Even on a holiday. So kudos for that. But
That's fine. It's all I gotta go into work. Sit there for 2 hours. Make some pancakes. We'll have Lee make some pancakes.
Yeah.
That like making pancakes song has been stuck in my head. Like, ever since the idea came up for it.
Yeah. So
I found a version where a video of it where they did it in a bunch of different languages. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Hearing it in German is hilarious.
Why? What makes German so hilarious?
It's just the it's just like the nuance of the wording, and like the way it's trying to like match the beats. Just it was gold. It was great.
Have you ever watched Disney movies like in a different language because they'll translate the songs too?
Oh, and I have not. No.
Let It Go in French or in German is a bit like I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. There was like Dutch was like super close to like the English version. They would like the odd like I don't know if it's the Dutch language. I don't know what it's called. And there'd be you just get like pancakes throughout the entire thing. So.
Oh, yeah. Dark Strider 193 is asking if there are any more supply chests coming.
I don't know.
Marketing. Know. I mean, you've got your code for your stream tomorrow. Maybe Dark Strider 193 wants some supply chests.
Maybe
you could be a kind and generous god.
Oh, come on! You know me. I wouldn't do that. No.
What, am I the nice one? I'm like, oh, people want a supply chest. I'll make a supply chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pannenkoeken is pancake in Dutch. Thank you. It's putting that in. Yeah. It's
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Ooh. Dave the Aztec is asking, which character, we can buff or not, would you like to see made as a pancake?
Ooh. That's a good question.
I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to say Baby Spurt.
Yeah.
Because that is familiar.
That would be really good.
I want familiars.
Yeah.
I
think Spurt would be good.
But I want Baby Spurt.
I want to see Warden.
Baby Spurt. Warden would be really cool.
Really cool.
Baby Spurt. Also Lulu.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, our Green Paradox is saying pink fluffy beholder.
That's a spoiler. Can't show that yet.
You can't show that.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Exactly. Can't draw what's not there.
Pancake is Pfannkuchen in German. Try that one. Glacier. Yeah, Glacier. I used to live in Germany. My accent's not great, but I can speak German. So.
I know very minimal. I know like 0 other languages.
Yeah, but if we're gonna have pancakes in Germany, I would prefer to have Kaiserschmarrn because that is delicious. Which is basically like scrambled pancakes with stewed plums or applesauce and then dusted in icing sugar.
Wow.
It's great.
That does sound pretty good.
There. And also, Cassius is telling you to stay away from Clive's Twitter because Clive's received his basket already. So.
All right, I will stay off of Twitter then.
Yeah. And yes, Cold Spells Warden, Pink Fluffy Beholder does not exist.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do I have here? You're all gonna judge me.
Not a lot that fits that, I don't think.
Yeah, there isn't really a great one.
We can go half bloods, I guess. I'd really just
Yeah.
okay. I think Calliope's a half elf, right?
Oh, yeah. Calliope is. Dave the Aztec is saying, "Hey, CNE marketing, do you remember not to post the weekend drops to Steam? Don't steal Sean's thunder again."
That was a scheduled post that just went under the mat and then everyone forgot about.
Yeah, that was
And
a
then-
scheduled post that went under the mat. That
Yeah,
everyone forgot
I think it
about.
was Dave messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you know, it's showing on Steam right now," and I was like, "What? You kidding me?" that was pretty funny. I was like, "Man, marketing's stealing my thunder. Like, what's going on, guys? I thought we were friends." I think it'll be good for tomorrow, though.
It'll be good. Well, I haven't scheduled any posts. I was just gonna pop in after your stream and post it.
Ah, that's the way to do it. What is tomorrow's weekend buff?
We can't tell them.
I'm
We
not
have to
telling
tell
them
them
now.
tomorrow.
No, I am looking for me for tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, it was just hazing Sean. Yeah. It's totally hazing. My revenge hazing. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next week. Tomorrow's not bad.
Looks like some other people also really love Kaiserschmarrn. So, yeah. But when we can all have like a team event again, maybe I'll make it for you guys because it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dave has a hot plate in the office now, so.
Yeah, but like one hot plate to feed
22 people.
23 people
Oh, wait, 23. Yeah.
is yeah.
That was neat coming out of the streaming room last Friday and just seeing Dave at his desk with a pot in his hand, like just eating craft dinner out of it. And I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Have you seen there's a couple of memes running around the internet. It's like day 1 of Zoom meetings. Day 14 of Zoom meetings. What up?
Oh yeah. I think I've seen a couple. I want to get like the background stuff set up.
I
want to do some funny things with that.
Oh, I found one, but I need to play around with it to see if I can get it set up for Meet, where it will replace you with something. So there's one where it's like just a sparkle or a night elf, and I'm like,
It's good it as a goose that just like opens its mouth a lot.
am I the Untitled Goose Game to you, Sean?
No, it's just so this is the first thing that came to mind because I love Untitled Goose Game. The game was amazing.
I lived to be a nuisance.
What was that? Didn't I think Adam drew something? I think I have it saved on this computer here that like about like how gooses are evil, and like it just like the tiling of it and the goose that he drew, it just like it looked so funny. It was so good.
Gooses?
Geeses?
Geese.
Gooses? Did I say gooses?
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm the worst. Look at me.
Gonna review that for that one.
Yeah. Ding dong, hi gooses.
I don't even want to know what that is. Dave the Aztec's commenting about teaching people how to use Zoom. Gonna have PTSD from that for decades. It's a time, thankfully, here that we work enough in tech that we've sorted it out pretty quick. But you know, now we're all about who's importing fancy backgrounds for our daily stand-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris had the Enterprise today. Just
Yep.
like, yeah.
Clive just had suns rotating
Just
behind him.
just like
Yeah.
exploding, dying suns, and I'm like, It's very
I do like,
ominous.
yeah, I do like our green paradox is Hong Kong Kai Shan.
Hong Kong Kai Shan. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Blade Dragon, I did see the critical role background. That was one of the ones I wanted to get set up. I also want to get like a news desk.
Oh, a news desk.
Like, yeah, for like all like the news portion for like all the bugs that are coming out.
It'd be better if you were reporting from the streets and be like,
Oh yeah, the formation behind me, like you wouldn't believe what's going on here.
Lauren is, if you must have a green screen backdrop, why not the end of the universe on Clive's dying sons? You have a point.
Yeah.
You have a point. Yeah.
I think I have green fabric somewhere too. I think my girlfriend bought like just a giant sheet of green fabric to like make our own.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any last words for the stream, Sean? Any last words?
Any last words? Oh God, don't kill me, please. Come watch me tomorrow morning. Man, come join us for breakfast. We're gonna make we'll do the weekend buff. We're gonna make some pancakes.
Dr. Pancake.
I'm gonna brag to Lee about. I'm gonna bring some more stuff for tomorrow. To brag to Lee about the Critical Role merch I own. Because that was really funny. Yeah. So yeah, come by tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or CNE time till noon.
We're on Pacific Daylight.
Pacific Daylight, whatever. CNE time.
CNE time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm gonna be in the office nice and early to make sure everything's set up, and I think we'll be all good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, come check out Griddle Champions. It's awesome. And then again, of course, Gar's Untitled stream for 1 p.m. CNE time as well.
Gar needs to make a name for it, man. You gotta stick with it.
Oh, no. Gar's Untitled stream.
Yeah. Untitled Gar stream? Yeah.
The Untitled Gar stream. Yeah, I like that.
And that's it.
That's it.
We have decided for you, Garway.
Yes, because we can make those decisions by ourselves.
Yes, it is for us to do.
Yes, okay. Well, I will let you go.
All right.
See you later,
Bye,
Sean.
guys.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
And that's Sean. I'll wrap it up. That's our show for Thursday, April 9th, 2020. Thank you for joining us today and also for participating in the Idle Champions and Dungeons & Dragons communities. You're all awesome. The show exists because of a number of amazing people behind the scenes, including our co-producer Erica, as well as our partners at Dungeons & Dragons, Greg, Bart, Pelham, Allison, Shalling, and Lisa. Take care, champions, and see you tomorrow for Griddle Champions and the Untitled Gar stream at 1 p.m. Griddle Champions at 10. And thanks again to Dr. Kelli Dunlap from Take This for joining us today.